Welcome to Comfort Time with Aunty Yunike, where we share testimony stories. Our story for today is a rock and a hard place. I'm sure most of us can relate. We've all been in situations where we really feel boxed in and we have nowhere to go, nowhere to run, and we're so overwhelmed we don't know what to do. So this is the story I'm sharing today of a friend who found herself in that situation and how she saved herself. I shared in a video called Grateful of the two ladies who came to see me and who said, we just want to appreciate you, to appreciate Comfort Time, because we feel so sorry that we didn't know about Comfort Time before. They shared the story of how 2 weeks earlier they had lost a friend who had been sharing with them that she was overwhelmed and that she needed help, but the friends kept on saying, Kosafie, Kosafie, just be strong, because all of them were also going through their own rough situations, but they didn't know just how overwhelmed she was. And a week after she shared that with them, she committed suicide and died. And it was only then that they discovered Comfort Time. Someone shared a link with them. So after watching a few of my videos, they felt so sad. They felt they needed to come and appreciate me and share with me that if they had known about Comfort Time earlier, maybe we could have saved their life. So I said, okay, we've lost that one, but now you are aware. People don't wear their pain on their sleeves. People will move around smiling, being the life of the party, but they are carrying such heavy burdens. So just sharing a video with someone or a link for the channel, someone can stumble on a video that will speak to them. And this is what the ladies said. So they brought me a lovely chitenge, 6 meters, and a bottle of wine, which I enjoyed. So now the story for today, a rock and a hard place, is about another friend who fortunately saved herself. It was not easy, but she did the needful and saved herself. And before I start the story, please, I hope all of you watching have subscribed and that you give us a thumbs up and like our videos so that YouTube can share with many more people. So what happened with this lady is that her marriage was in a very difficult place. She was really overwhelmed. The couple was not communicating, and she was trying to reach out to her husband to say, I really am feeling overwhelmed, but he was not getting it, or she was not getting it. So one day she went to pick children from school, and after picking the children and on her way back, she did not realize how fast she was driving. It was only when she was about to turn into her street that she failed to negotiate the curve and almost overrode. When she came to a halt, she was so scared, because then she realized, oh my God, I could have killed myself and killed my children. And from there she realized this has to give. So she got home and she called her husband and said, we need to chat. She told her husband, this is what happened to me today. I and the children could have died. I didn't realize how overwhelmed I am, and as a result, I was driving on autopilot. And now this is what happened. It's by God's grace that we are all alive. So please, we need to sit down, we need to seek couple counseling, and we are not winning. And the husband unfortunately didn't take it seriously. He thought she was just looking for attention. So he ignored her. So they continued until she just felt, you know what, I can't do this. So she checked out of the relationship, out of the marriage, And you know, checking out means you stop to care. It's like your partner or whoever is mistreating you is dead to you. So she started now thinking, how do I save myself? And she decided she was going to leave. She decided to travel to the Copper Belt. So she totally checked out of the relationship. And before she could travel, she called her family to come and witness her exit. So her family, her father, her brother, her mother, and his family came. So she explained in the meeting that this is what has been going on, and she really feels she cannot continue living under that environment. She said she was ready to get back with the husband after he understands the situation. So it was only then, when everybody came and she was talking in front of the family, that the husband realized that this woman was serious. Before, he thought she was just looking for attention. So he pleaded with her to say, okay, I'm going to make changes, please don't go. But she said, no, I'm in the headspace of really not accepting anything else. I need a breather. So that's how she went. The parents also decided that she should not move to the parents' home, because traditionally that was going to make it appear like they were supporting the separation or the divorce. So she said, fine, I'll not come to your house, I'll go to my own house. And that's how she rented a place in Lusaka and continued with her cake business. But the issue that brought her to her knees was the children's schools. She could not manage the fees. The husband now, in the hope of drawing her back to him, decided not to support her financially. Her cake business was doing okay, but not that good. She really needed support, especially with the children. But he wouldn't support her. He thought when she gets into trouble with the school fees, with the rentals, then she would be forced to go back to him. But that's not how it works. So anyway, eventually she accepted that she was not coping, and she decided she would now go to her parents on the Copper Belt. She traveled. The parents now had seen that there was nothing they could do, so they accepted her. She went to stay with them, and she took the children to her brother's house. Unfortunately, the brother was married to a woman who was not a very nice person. She knew that her children were going to suffer under that woman, but she needed to save herself. So she continued with cake business, but the business in Ndola and business in Lusaka are very different. So she was not making much. She couldn't really make it. She sat down and thought, okay, I need to get away. I'm really not making any headway. So she decided, I'm going to go back to Lusaka, rent a place, expand my cake business, and then I'll come back. She did that to save herself. There are times when you just feel so overwhelmed that you cannot afford to have any weight around you. I know here we are talking about her children. When you are that overwhelmed and you need to save yourself, it doesn't matter who is heavily depending on you. It could be your children, it could be your parents, it could be family members, whoever it is. You cannot give from an empty cup. You have to fill your own cup. On a plane, they tell us, put on your mask. Only then can you put even your own child's mask, because you need to save yourself first. And that's what she needed to do. So she said, I'm sorry, I have to go. told the children, I know it's going to be rough, but I need to save me in order to save you. And that's what she did. So she came back to Lusaka, continued with her business, found a place she could rent, and eventually she was able to make something of herself. Her business started doing good to a point where she could now go back to collect the children. She went and collected her children. Unfortunately, soon after that, the husband fell sick and died. So they didn't even get a chance to reconcile. But he had now started showing that he understood that he had not been hearing her, and he wanted them to get back together. They started talking. They were not yet together. They were just talking. At least they were friends. And the children could go to him, they could go to her, he didn't mind. They were now relating. But unfortunately, he got sick and died, and she remained alone with the children. But now her business was doing okay. She had a place to stay, and that's how now they sat with the children and compared notes. They went through the rough times that she went through on her own as she was trying to pick up her business. The children also shared the rough time they had had with their auntie, and they shared that their uncle was so good, but sometimes they wouldn't tell their uncle what their auntie was doing to them because of not wanting to bring problems in their home. They said there would be times when she would cook meat and beans, and she would take the meat and give her children, and they're sitting on the same table with their cousins, and she would only give beans to their cousins. And the children never complained. They never saw that it was wrong for their mother to share, to give them meat and give their cousins beans. But you know, I suppose they were scared of the mother. I don't know what could have been going on there. But the moral of the story is that save yourself. There are times when you find yourself between a rock and a hard place, where you feel you're losing it. People have had mental breakdowns. People have committed suicide. People have died in other ways because they did not realize just how overwhelmed they were, or if they did, they felt that they could not choose themselves. You have a responsibility to choose you every time. It doesn't matter if it's a relationship, you're in a relationship, it's not going well, don't stick because you are trying to please the other person. Choose you. You have a responsibility to take care of yourself first before you take care of anyone else. It doesn't matter who that anyone else is, because you need a full cup in order to pour into others. I pray that this story helps you to choose you every time. Comfort Time continues. Please remember, like I said, to give us a thumbs up so that YouTube can share with many other people. Stay blessed. See you in the next video.